How's it going, guys, ladies, gentlemen? Welcome. My name is Scott Dzinski, and I'm the program manager for Light the World. And today, I'm going to be showing y'all the tools that comprise our Crowdsourcing Solution Center. Traditionally, crowdsourcing on the internet boils down to a couple things. You need a forum. People rely on private communication, email and Skype and this sort of stuff. And then you need some way of sharing documents. Traditionally, this is done by DocShare, and like Google has a service like this. And this leads me right into the first tool of our Crowdsourcing Solution Center, and that is our file sharing system. The way we have it, let's go here. So creating solutions. And let's go down to the Crowdsourcing File Sharing Center. Now, when you get here, you click on this big logo thing, and it'll bring you back to the top of the page. And then when you scroll down again, it'll show each team, all 6 of our teams, have their own designated area. And to upload a file, let's walk through this real quick. I'll show you. Add some notes here. It's important that you upload it to your team's area. Now, everybody who has the engineer status, which is a back level control that we have, basically it allows you access to the Crowdsourcing Solution Center, both the forum and the file sharing center. Anybody who has this designation on their profile will be able to access any of the documents for any of the teams. But when you're posting in the forum, you've uploaded a new document, make sure you say, where it is and what the title of the document is. And let's do this upload real quick. So let me show you this. We'll upload new file, name it. You can give a brief description. You can add a picture if you want, but not really necessary. And the file type will automatically show its own icon very quickly. So when you upload it, if it's a PDF, it'll have like a PDF logo, or if it's an XLMS, it'll have an Excel spreadsheet logo, or if it's a PowerPoint, so on and so forth. Make sure you hit viewable and published, and once you go through this process of actually uploading it, you have to hit publish again. And I'm trying to figure out a way to address this, but at the moment this is how it works. And once you do this, you can see that the file's up there, and anybody can download it once you're logged in. Now, let's talk briefly about the solution forum. Now, this is a similar layout. Each team has their own area, and then there's other areas as well where we post general questions, and then for just other side note sort of stuff. So, let's scroll down to the bottom, and here we can take a look at something that I posted that is, it's actually a business-to-business strategy presentation that Mark did when he was speaking down in Mexico. So I edited this video for him and put it up there, and it's just something interesting that the community might want to check out and be, it might spark some interest there. At the very top, there's a help section. So if you come up with issues, you can post your question directly there, or you can email me. And there's also a general questions tab that has some videos that address some common problems. One of the biggest problems we've had to date so far is uploading pictures and this sort of stuff into the forums itself. Now, most of the time, the main problem behind this is the file is too big, or the picture is too big. So if you shrink it, it's generally okay. And I talk more in depth about that in one of the help videos. And there's more in depth on the crowdsourcing, uploading files, and that sort of stuff that address those problems. So this is just a very brief overview. And if you do have more specific questions, again, email me. I'll be happy to get back to you and let you know how or what is going on, why, and how to fix it. And if I can't fix it for you right away, I will put it on the emergency to-do list, and we'll get it done as quickly as possible. The other thing that's very nice about our Crowdsourcing Solutions Center is that it is a very flexible platform, and it's not set in stone. So as projects come along and as we're making progress, if things need to if we decide or figure out a better way of doing things, we can do that. The next thing that also falls under that flexibility category is how the team makeup works. So there are 6 teams at the moment. We're about to add a 7th for PR and other non-engineer related professionals who wish to help, and that should be up shortly. But each team will have a team leader, which has the ability to monitor the post to make sure everything's okay and on point. And the function of the forum isn't, as I said earlier, to provide the private communications. It's more of like a project tracker. It's a way for people to keep up with how the projects are going and see the big steps that each team is making. And it's also very important that each team keeps up and keeps this forum up to date with how their project is going, because of the intertwined nature of these projects. I mean, all these projects have to work together. So it's important that each team has a clear understanding of how they fit into the bigger picture and how the components will actually end up working together. And that's why it's important to keep on top of each team, to keep on top of their individual section under the Crowdsourcing Solutions Center forums. The other thing that's nice about this forum is, while each team has their own designated section, let's say Mini-Grid Systems needs to talk to LED Lighting and Design, you can post on the other forums if you want and ask questions. And you can also see profiles and get contact information. So let's take a look at the profile real quick. So you can go Light the World and interact with Light the World. There's a sign up function there. There's also a sign up at the top of the page. But you go Light the World and you can click on your peers or edit your profile. And from there you can add contact information and all this sort of stuff. You can also log in at the bottom of the screen as well as here. It's whichever is most convenient for you, really. But let's leave it with it's a very flexible system, and it's not set in stone. So as we progress and as we get further down the road, outside or people who are working on this, if there's something that needs to be addressed, we can absolutely do that. And we're very unique like that, because most online crowdsourcing forums and outlets and platforms are set in stone from the get-go, and we're not. And the other thing that's very unique about us is all our document sharing is done through our own website, so you don't have to go or sign up for Google Docs or go somewhere else. You can do that all in one spot. We don't think that it's vital to make it so the private emails and little group discussions and what have you are done through the website. We've come to the conclusion that Skype and email will be good enough, and people can do that on their own. And that also affords everybody who's working on the project networking opportunities, which is part of what crowdsourcing is about. So we think that the solution and the platforms we have in place at the moment are going to be more than satisfactory. And I think we have a good outlet for making progress on all of these individual problems. There's also a section here in the forum where we're talking about demographics and issues and data regarding deployment locations. And that's another place to check, where you can sort of get a feel for where we're going to be sending stuff and what these situations are actually going to be like. So let's leave you with this. I'll leave you with this. If you do have issues, you can always give me a call on Skype. It's scott.dudzinski. And you can also submit a question. And here, I'll show you where to do that right now. And when you submit a question, it goes right to my email, so I'll get it relatively quickly. And the last thing, really cool tool that I'm pretty proud about is we have a call-in service. So for each team, if you need a call-in number to do a group chat or whatever, we'll show you. You can get the call-in number here, and I will send it out to you. And the other cool thing about this is, should you wish, you can choose to record the entire conversation and then listen to it later in case somebody missed something or your notes got a little sparse or what have you. And one last thing. I know I said one last thing before, but the last thing about flexibility is the team compositions and how you organize your team is also very flexible, and this allows for certain opportunities for recruitment that a lot of other crowdsourcing centers don't have. So instead of just being a team member, somebody could be the secretary or the documents clerk or whatever you want to call it, and adding these titles into the teams within the Crowdsourcing Solutions Center allows for the ability for resume building, which is very important among those young professionals who are trying to either move up in their current career or go to grad school or what have you. So I think that pretty much covers the overview of our Crowdsourcing Solutions Center for the moment. If you have any questions, you can type them in now or send me an email or Skype me later if you want, and I'll be happy to answer anything that you might come up with. Okay. So our file sharing system is not dependent on file types. So the way it actually works is the files are being hosted on another server that's not ours to keep our server traffic down. But it doesn't matter what kind of file it is. It could literally be anything that somebody else can open. And then, that's actually brings up another question. So for some of the technical stuff, it's very important that the team decides as a unit to align their software appropriately. So whether that be AutoCAD or TurboCAD, it's important that everybody's on the same system. And that's something that being a team leader will get to choose and really make the head honcho decision there. And the other thing, too, to sort of incentivize team leadership is we make a special note on our About Us team leader section because you're not getting paid for it, but you're putting in more work than average on it. So, we want to make sure that we highlight that and that we also show that we're thankful for all the help that we're getting currently. As of the date of this broadcast, we're up to 96 business professionals. Some of them are engineers. Most of them are engineers or work in electric utility fields. But we do have some PR people, and we're actually in the process of putting together that team and giving them some goals and figuring out the best way to maximize non-engineer participation, because all the help that we can get from people with expertise and knowledge and experience within these fields will help us out a lot, because we really are a mom and pop shop, or mom, pop, and son shop. So for the moment, I'll get that out shortly. And if you want to join or help in other ways besides engineering or PR or something, shoot me an email, because your enthusiasm and your participation will really help drive these projects forward. And that's, we need people to get excited about it. I'm fantastically excited for this. But, we can't do everything by ourselves. We got a lot going on. And any help that somebody would want to give and get involved with would be very, very much appreciated. Any more questions? Right. Okay. So the profiles on the website are only accessible once you log in, and it just shows up as in that tab. So here, I'll show you the tab. Tab appears, and you can see, and it's actually a searchable function, so you can search by which team you're on, and you can look at previous postings and that sort of stuff. But none of that is accessible to people who aren't registered on the website, and the forum itself and the file sharing center are only accessible to people who have received the engineer status designation, which is something that we do in the back of the house. It's our macro level control system, and you can't sign up directly for that. I have to give that to you. So the people, you'll be able to see the forum, but you'll be able to see the forum just from the outside if you're not registered, because we want people to see, and we want to demonstrate that we're actually doing something, but it's just the overall forum. It's not the specific stuff, and they won't be able to post anything there. There is actually one forum where people can post stuff that don't have the engineer status, but most of the people that sign up to do this sort of thing, I'm giving the engineer status to. I think the number without it's very small. Yeah. Okay, so go over how to sign up again. Okay, yeah. You can hit the sign up button in the top left. It's right next to the donate thing. Or you can go to the interact, sign up here. And yeah, it's very simple. And once you sign up, I have to approve you on the website because we had an issue with hacking where somebody figured out how to hack reCAPTCHA and they crashed our website a bunch. So, I mean, it's not an automated system at this point, but it gives us a little bit more control. Yeah, we don't. Everybody's registered. We don't send that data to anybody else. The mailing list and contact information, that's strictly for us. We won't ever sell that to anybody else or distribute that to anybody else. As a nonprofit, as a human being, I think privacy is an important thing, and we respect everybody's privacy, and we want to make sure that y'all feel safe. And that's part of the reason why we don't have an automated system, which sometimes if you register, it'll take a day or two for me to get to it, depending on various situations and various things. So all that is in an effort to make sure that your information is kept private, and the only people that can access it are, stand-up people. So yeah, and they'll only be able to access your email address, and if you add in Skype and that sort of stuff, they'll be able to access it that way. But this is, our primary demographics for people that are registered are business professionals and people who are trying to make the world a better place. And I think that is pretty good company to be in. Because if we don't know you, and I send you an email and ask, how'd you hear about us? What do you want to do? Do you have an idea of where you think you might fit in? And you just respond with football, football, football. I'm not gonna, yeah. So, any more questions? Yeah, yeah. I know the webcam is not a fantastically great one. It's an old webcam. I should be getting a new one here shortly, I think. And I will post this on our YouTube channel, so you can take a look at it and send it to other people if you want. It's just for backup. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, if you have any more questions, feel free to ask me through email or Skype or the contact me function, and we'll get you set up, and we'll make sure that you're in a comfortable position to help us out, because we want you guys to feel comfortable, and we want you to be in a productive place where you can actually get stuff done and be the most effective you can be, because together we really can make a difference. And I think that that's a very admirable goal, and I think that as the projects start going, it'll start to get really exciting because you'll get to see the progress that everybody's making. So all right, that'll do it. Thanks for stopping by, and take it easy.